What up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of Sports 49 with your host, Blake Anthony. None other. There's only can be one. Never duplicated. Reciprocated, but never duplicated. Anyways, let's talk about a couple of the things of the topics that I have today. NFL training camp, NBA playoffs, John Morant. Those are three things I want to hit on. Also, look for a later interview of me talking to one of the rookies from the camp. Won't tell you who, but I want to hear his perspective on how camp's going and who's shining in the rookie camp so far, because everybody's just so eager to know. But I'll let that be later on. First and foremost, let's just start with the training camp. The training camp is, everybody's going through it right now. You're waiting to see your rookies that you drafted and see how they turn out, see who's going to do well, who's not doing well, who's picking up the game quicker, who's not. It's that time of year because everybody's learning perspective is not the same. Everybody learns things a little bit faster. Some people pick up on things quicker, and the ability to play well in practice, it has to translate into the games. So a lot of people can look really good in practice, but then you get in the game, it's like looking at a deer in the headlight. And that's just transparency. Like you see these little drills, just learning basic things, basically reads, fundamentals of football, waves on kickoffs and things like that. Because, in college and then going to the pros, it's two different things. Expectations are different. Coaches are more detailed on what they want to do. I know you guys see all these videos of the rookies, the numbers and stuff, if you guys remember all of them. But you just it's a fun time of year to learn as a coach when you want to teach these guys, what you expect for them coming into the football season, what kind of guys you got, see how you can plug and play them into the system. As you can see here, basic fundamentals of football. Man, that looks weird seeing a 76 on somebody else. That's O'Neal now. Ruth videos provided by, Ruth Kagias, Ruth, the True Moment of Ruth. Make sure you check her out on 102.5 The Bone. She was nice enough to send me this video, and I using this video to check, give you guys a perspective of what camp is like. And so just everybody's looking like they look like the young kid Yaya Diaby out of Louisville. People are looking forward. Of course, they're looking to Calais, the rookie out of Pitt, who's been compared to Aaron Donald several times. It's going to be interesting seeing what guys shine. The rookie wide receiver in Nebraska, Kay Warner, Kurt Warner's son. There's just so many stories that could happen that you don't know what's going to really happen, in time, in real time. And then you got the running back situation, Keyshawn Fall finally getting a chance to play. And then you got the young kid out of Syracuse that they just picked up. There's just so many stories, and the running back situation is definitely one you want to keep an eye on. The wide receivers are pretty much going to be the usual suspects, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Now you see where you're going to get your third and fourth option. Where are you going to get those receptions at? Is it going to come from the running back? Is it going to come from the tight end? Where is it coming from? Because you got so many different skill sets, and they drafted another rookie tight end to go on with that, which I think he's going to probably end up stealing the starting spot. You heard it here first. Let me get a close-up. He's probably going to end up winning the starting spot. Going to call that early. Mark it. So I think he will end up taking the starting spot. I think he's going to come in here and kind of wow people. He's going to be in a more dynamic offense. I think he's going to be able to produce, very quickly in the Bucs' new offense with Canales, making things easier for the offense to pick up and do their things. I just think he's going to come and produce very early for this team. Like I said, it's really, really early. I'll give you guys more perspective and stuff later. Like I said, when we talk to the rookies and things like that. But I just want to talk about camp just a little bit. Everybody come out healthy. It's the only thing I'd be scared of each and every season in the offseason for all teams. It's just guys coming out healthy. That's always a tough part. NBA playoffs. What a game last night, right? What a story of two halves. Lakers are up dominating the game majority of the game up until the fourth quarter. Um, and they end up losing 108 to 103. Nuggets take a 2 game lead, win the 2 games at home. Now you got the two next games in LA. The story of the game is Murray putting on a clinic in the fourth quarter. Couldn't buy a bucket. Um, earlier in the game, and then the game before was a barn burner as well. Lakers lost on 126 to 132. They came back in that game, so it's been interesting by far. And then you got the game coming up, Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, which has been a real nice game so far. I mean, honestly, if you're asking me, I really think that I really would like to see the Lakers and the Heat play in the finals, only because they're two playing teams that make the playoffs. So I want to see that be the first time to make two playing teams play in the NBA finals. That would be interesting to see. It'd be an interesting storyline to show you that the new playing system works. It gives everybody a fair chance. It gives people, as some players said, a reason not to tank. So it's interesting. And then you got, of course, the draft lottery that came up. My team, I'm getting screwed. As all of you don't know, I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. Got screwed again and got the second pick. Spurs got the first pick, so it looks like they're going to get the young kid out of France, Wimby or whatever pronounce his name. And the Hornets will probably end up having to go with the kid from Alabama or the other point guard. So the matchup with LaMelo Ball, who knows? Who knows what will happen? And the playoffs, who knows what will happen in this draft? But the NBA playoffs have been entertaining. They have been. LeBron James I just think he's taking another level as far as the defensive game. I mean, man, he's just playing phenomenal defense while still putting up points on offense. But that's his game, and that's LeBron James. Moving on to maybe the more fun topic. I wouldn't say fun. It's not fun talking about it. Ja Morant. I mean, the kid just says one thing and then does another. I just don't know where to go with talking about him. It's just when you talk to him, you you just don't know where he's getting this from. You couldn't have had the better scenarios of having both parents, private school, somebody that loves you your entire life and want to put you in the best light, and then you do everything in your power to go in the opposite direction. It's just, and then when he's up there talking, it's just you don't know what to think. This is just how you feel.
You are so stupid. Am I? Idiot!
I mean, that's how you feel. It's just, and then Shaq and then Kenny and all these guys. I mean, listen. We all didn't grow up. All of us didn't have the opportunities to grow up in big, nice neighborhoods and have both parents and not have to deal with certain things you had to deal with, not being, worry about your next meals coming from, worry about little certain things. And there's guys that were fortunate that didn't have to worry about it. And there's a lot of people that did and grew up in bad neighborhoods and dealt with people, you shouldn't have been around. But you learn and you grow from that. You want to get out of that. And what I've noticed is that the people who actually are from that want to get away from it. And the people who aren't from that want to go towards because they find it intriguing for whatever reason it is. And then you find yourself faking to live a life that you have never lived. You had you didn't have to deal with. You had privileges that others did not have, but you want to act like you're from that struggle. It's just the identity crisis of people in this world is astronomical. And I don't know if you can call that mental illness. I don't know what you want to call it, because there's a lot of scenarios and things that there's people that are like that. And they want to feel like they have to fit into, I call it mask. I had this conversation with somebody. I call it mask. You have to wear a certain mask depending on who you're around. So, okay, I'm in this crowd, so I got to wear this. Oh, I'm with these guys, I got to wear this mask, instead of being one consistent person the whole time, and whether they like you or not. So be it. Be who you truly are. It just seems like that's what everybody wants to be, is this other alter ego, alter persona. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. They want to be somebody else. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with the John Morant thing, I got a clip of Charles Barkley uh, talking about what JJ Redick thought about him. I'll play it and then we'll talk about
I
it.
gotta say something, man. We got some idiots, some fools, some jackasses on television that really just piss me off. Talking about Josh should make a stand saying he didn't break any laws. He didn't do anything wrong. We're in a state where you can carry your gun. Those guys are just freaking idiots. And I only say freaking because y'all won't let me say what I want to say.
We don't care for it.
It pisses me off when I hear guys say that, yo, man, when you're making $100 million a year to play sports, your life changes. There are certain rules and regulations you have to live by, plain and simple. You can't do stupid stuff. That's the trade-off. Now, if you want to do all that stuff and give all that money back, more power to you. You can make that stand. Say, you know what, I want to do what I want to do. I want to flash my gun and make videos and do things. Okay, that's fine. But you can't make money on the NBA doing this stuff.
I mean, Charles is right. I know a lot of people make fun of Charles and things like that, but Charles is right. And this is what we're talking about, the second gun video that was put up within 30 days or whatever from when he talked to the league. The guy recording it, he tried to get the camera off quick enough, but it was live and somebody caught it. And the rest is history. We're talking about it. He went to the league and talking about that's not who he is. But clearly he has no sense because the gun's pointed at his head. Don't know if it's loaded. Good thing his finger's not on the trigger. But it's easy. You see this could have turned into another situation. You got a dead man in the car, shot himself in the head, and then this guy on the other side of it. You change so many lives when you make a poor decision. You got this guy, he's pointed at his head. Like, how moronic is this? And I don't know if it's loaded or not, but he ends up, let's just play the worst case scenario, he ends up shooting himself by mistake. Now the whole league's got to deal with this. His family's got to deal with this. The team's got to deal with these apology letters and deal with all this stuff, to show their concern for what happened to their son. The league's got to do their thing. This guy's got to defend himself to show that he didn't kill him and that Morant shot himself. He'll have the video to prove it. But it's just when you make constant poor decisions, it affects other people. It affects other people. Other people are affected by the decisions that you make, whether you believe it or not. It's just, it's an unfortunate situation that he's going through this. Hopefully he grows from this and this is the last we hear of it. And without any kind of serious repercussions happening, like him getting shot, him shooting somebody, I don't know, any type of bad scenario that happens, you hope it doesn't happen and he grows up and moves forward with his life and just doesn't do these things anymore. Because, I'm, like I said, we've all were young and we all did a bunch of dumb things, just dumb. And some of us are still doing it, but you just got to learn from these situations, man, and you got to move on. I know everybody wants to, play armchair quarterback to life and everything. And you say, well, if I would have been making this money, this, and I would have done that. Everybody says that. And then they get in the same situation and do the same, if not identical situation, things that you said you would have done differently if you were this individual. But you don't, we're talking about, $200 million and things like that. It's just on a smaller scale, but everybody likes to play, like they would have done something different. And, a lot of them would have, but it's just, I don't know. It's in life, in myself included, you just got to find ways to get away from people who are bad for you. You got to find ways to get away from people who are toxic for you, who don't share the same goals, who don't share, wanting to be more in life. You don't even have the same goals, just want something from life. And a lot of the guys on these sports shows, and they talk because we grew up in bad neighborhoods. It's like this persona from rap TV and the rap game and all that stuff. And there's those that do live that life, and there's a lot of those that do not live that life. But it's this persona that people want to live this life, flashing guns and flashing the money. And it's just this cliche of these things that people choose to follow. And in the community, like if you're somebody who wants to own a business, from try to bring up your community, you want to do all these things, and it's considered lame, and you're considered lame, or you considered not black, and it's that you want to be educated and you want to do better in your life is negatively looked at rather than something that is actually negative and affects people's lives for the bad decisions that you make is sought after and celebrated. And at a young age, I stopped watching BET, Black Entertainment Television. If you don't know who it is, I'm sure most of everybody who ever watches this knows what BET is. And I stopped watching that at a young age, probably in my high school, 14 years old or something like that, because I kept watching it and I kept seeing the same thing on there about the way people, like the way the world try to portray to the world of how that's how they should be every day. And I knew I wasn't doing the things that they weren't doing. I'm not talking about making the money. I'm just the way you carry yourself and the things like that. I'm talking about like that. And people believe what they see on television. A lot of people believe what they see on TV. They think it's real. And I just didn't like it. I didn't like what it gave off and the persona. Yeah, you have a culture and things like that. There's one thing to be a culture, and there's one thing to pass off to people to make them believe, young minds, to make them believe that's the world that they should see. And then they strive to try to be that, and they end up in jail, deadbeat parents, single parent homes, not raising their kids. And that's the thing that they watch. They think that's normal. And for me, I was able to spot that out at a young age. And I was just pushed away from it, from looking at it. It's just critical thinking. Like I said, people grasp the things later. Some people grasp it when they get older. But as long as you grasp it, John Morant's on that period where he believes that those things are real. For him, and knowing he didn't grow up with it, normally he didn't have to live any of that life. But yet it's sought after, and he believes that's what he should do. That's all I got. It's just more John Morant stories, just depressing, seeing another man, go down this spiral of toxic behavior for the company that you keep. They have nothing to lose. You have everything to lose, John Morant. That's the part that you're not granted. You can't be them anymore. And I think if anybody can talk to you about that, it's Carmelo Anthony. When he was in that no snitching video, he said he realized that he didn't really dawn on him that he's can't do that anymore because you're not that guy anymore. You're not. And it's not being bougie or whatever. They can call you whatever you want. At the end of the day, they want to be in the position you want to be in. But you can't do it anymore. And that's just the cost of doing that. It's like when you get a new job or a good paying job, you can't carry yourself in a certain life. I mean, that you knew that when you went to a job interview. You knew that. It wasn't something that was new. And this whole victim mentality of people trying to change you can't. There's different ways. If you want to make this money, you want to be all these endorsements, they're a business. They have to portray an image to carry business. It's like you wouldn't go to a business if they promoted racism. If they said we only allow we serve white customers better than black customers. Well, if you were a black customer, you wouldn't go in anymore because they said that they only treat white customers better than black customers. I'm just using that as a metaphor to say that you can't pass yourself off as a good business, but you got a guy that is sponsored by your business and wants to flash guns and throw up gang signs or whatever he's doing. You can't. It's a business. And like I said, the victim mentality in the world, I want to get paid this and then do what I want. No, you can't. That part is true. It's a business. That's what it is. Just like when if he goes and owns a business and he wants his business to run a certain way and somebody else wants to do whatever the hell they want. Now you're the victim. Now you're the evildoer now, and they're the victim because you won't allow them to do what they want. The world tends to only realize things when it actually affects them. I mean, that's how the world works. That's all I got for you. I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Dive 49 coming at you again and win this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Stay tuned and make sure to watch out for one of the rookies to talk about how camp's going, how he's doing, and who's surprisingly turning heads in camp. Stay good, stay safe, God bless, and as always, fire those cannons.